Approximately 3 weeks ago, I had to go get my medication for a pain that I have in my back that shoots down frequently really bad. And as I was going to the pharmacy, I noticed my heart rate was so high. So I have this Oura ring right here that basically tells me my heart rate, and I'll put a screenshot somewhere here. It reached around like 160, and that was just from walking it was a pretty cold day that day, from what I can remember. So I think it was a couple days later. I didn't really think much of it, but I knew that something was wrong. And I called, I think it was my mom, and my mom said, like, that's not good. Like, you should probably go to the hospital. But I kind of noticed, like, there's a pattern going on with it over the past, like, probably a week and a half prior to that. And so then I went for a walk again to the grocery store. And I don't know why I walked to the grocery store after realizing that my heart rate was, like, literally, like, crazy high for someone my age. But I went there anyway. I decided that I was going to go get my groceries because I was low on food for the week, and, I didn't want to starve for the week, and I didn't really have much money for me to, like, DoorDash or anything. So as I'm walking home, I was extremely exhausted. I almost passed out like 2-3 times, and that's when I was like, okay, yeah, maybe mom was right. Maybe something really is wrong with me. I told her again, and she said, call your family doctor. And my family doctor is super cool. Like, he's really chill. Like, he'll tell me things that, like, I need to hear because, like, he just understands, like, that's how I think. Like, I don't like to hear fluff or anything like that when it comes to my health. Like, I need to know what it is. And, like, I promise, like, I just have that belief that, like, I'll always be okay in the end. So when I told him my heart rate the other day was really high, it was like 160, and then, like, going to, like, the grocery store and stuff like that was also really high. And also I was getting, like, night sweats and just general fatigue. I couldn't go to the gym because I was seeing stars, and, like, even just for regular sets, even light sets, I could not lift. And I've been lifting for almost 4 years now. I don't know if you can, I lost all my muscle these past couple weeks. So I told him, like, all these different things and my symptoms for the past couple weeks, and he was like, you need to go to the ER, like, ASAP. And I'm like, okay, that's not good. So I told my parents what he said, and they're like, pack your stuff, like you are going to need it. And I was like, no, I don't, like, need all this stuff. And they're like, trust me, like, you are, like, bring clothes, bring, like, food. I did not know, but I was in for a hell of a ride. So I showed up at the ER. I told them all the stuff that's been going on with me. I showed them, like, my medical history, and, like, my doctor gave me, like, a referral note and all that. And yeah, they told me to wait. And little did I know that the next 2-3 days were going to be, like, absolute, like, hell. So if you guys don't know, I live in Canada. Specifically, I currently live in Vancouver, Canada. I've only been in Vancouver for probably since August of last year. It is, like, currently, it's May 5th now. And I've noticed that here specifically, because it's just such a large city, there's way less doctors per capita. And there's so much more patients than there are doctors, obviously. Like, the hospitals are so crammed. They're so small. There's no beds to accommodate for everybody. There's literally, like, I've seen, like, there's sometimes, like, no chairs available, which is insane. I've seen people, like, standing in the hospital, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, people screaming, like, there's, like, violent stuff going on. I personally haven't seen the violent stuff, but just from, like, what I've been hearing and all that, like, it happens very frequently. But anyway, I sat in a recliner chair for 2 days with just noise and noise and noise. I was, thankfully they, like, put, like, a, what do you call it, like, a curtain so, like, no one could see what I was doing. I wasn't doing it. No, I was not. I just needed, like, the darkness and the quiet and stuff like that. And so I was kind of there for, like, 2-3 days, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna let you go, but you are just gonna be off for, like, the weekend, and then when you come back, like, we'll do a bunch of, like, tests and stuff. So after, like, I want to say 5-6 days, like, day 5, day 6, I had to do, I think, like, two CT scans, blood work every single day. I had, like, an IV in me and stuff like that. I had an MRI. The reason why I had the MRI was because in one of those CT scans, they found lymph nodes that were enlarged in between my, like, right here, right? I was freaking the freak out, bro. I was like, what? Like, what? You guys found lymph nodes in my freaking lungs. So I'm out here, I'm freaking out, right? Half freaking out. So I'm Googling, like, what are, like, common things with this, like, went on freaking Dr. Google, right? So there was obviously like lung cancer, and then the other one was lymphoma. Now there's like 100 different types of lymphoma, but the main ones are non-Hodgkin's and Hodgkin's. Hodgkin's is the more curable one, and that was the one that I prayed was like the one if it was a cancer. But it could also be a sign of like TB, tuberculosis. It could be a sign of just an autoimmune disease. Inflammation, it's like pretty much those 3-4 things. So after running more tests, and they did the MRI, they noticed that there was a bunch of activity in my bone marrow as well, in my lower back. Now that's the reason why I had to go to the hospital, because that's where I was feeling the pain. Like every single night, especially like this morning actually, if I don't take the medication, there's a shooting pain that goes down my back every time like my heart rate goes. So every beat is torture, to say the least. But once I take the medication, I'm good. But the problem is that it boosts one of my indicators a lot higher. I don't want to go in like too much detail because I don't like really want to bore it. But yeah, it was basic. I couldn't take it because of that reason. So fast forward a little bit. My parents flew down because my parents were fucking like scared, especially my mom. Right? Like, who wants to see like their kid have potential cancer? Like that's just crazy, right? And also, by the way, yeah, like I live on my own. Like I pay for this whole thing like on my own with YouTube automation, but I'll leave that for another time. So one thing that I really want to say is like when you are in a situation where you don't have family, right? Maybe you don't even have friends. You have to kind of like if they're not like close around you, bro, phone them, bro. Like there's nothing else that there's nothing that you can do to like bring them close to you at times. Use the phone, bro. And if you don't have your phone, if you don't have your family, bro, talk to God, man. That's like the number one thing. So my parents come down and literally perfect timing. They said, we'll let you go for the weekend. You can spend time with your parents. We're going to order you a PET scan, and we're also going to order you a bone marrow biopsy. Now, if you don't know what a bone marrow biopsy is, I wish I was in your shoes because I don't want to go through that again. But anyway, it was the most painful thing that I've ever experienced in my entire life. Essentially what they do is they numb, okay, your like lower back, like kind of like there or whatever. And essentially what they do, right, is they take a syringe, and the taller you are, the worse it is. And I'm 6'2", so yeah, you could say it. I was screaming cuss words. I was almost screaming. I was in so much pain because they said my bones were too strong for them to get in there. And bro, they were literally like digging in me, bro. I'm not even kidding, bro. They were literally digging. So the procedure was supposed to last, I think, 30 to 45 minutes, maybe. Probably not. It ended up lasting like an hour and 15 minutes. They had to call for backup because my bones were too strong. So they could just they had to get like a toothpick size of my bone or bone marrow or whatever it is. Take out some of the fluids. And then, yeah. And so the next day I had to go through a PET scan, which is basically like a scan where they try and check to see if there's any like activity going on with certain cells in the body. And the PET scan showed that, yes, the lymph nodes are indeed cancerous lymph nodes. So I'm thinking, okay, we know it's cancerous. We can see that, also, by the way, I'm anemic. One of the main things that lymphoma causes is anemia. And I've had this for over a year. Supposedly. I don't know. Maybe it could have been longer. And after that, I was thinking like, okay, so what's next? They came back with the bone marrow results, and it has no correlation with the lymph nodes here. Also, I have a lymph node in the back of my head. I'll show that in a second, but because it goes along with the story. But yeah, And then the PET scan showed again the same thing. So they still need more of a diagnosis. So I'm thinking, okay, what's next? So what's next? A lymph node removal biopsy. I'm just going to turn around. I hope this is YouTube safe. If it isn't, I'm going to blur this out. But as you can see, the back of my head is completely shaven off. And yeah, there's a bunch of stitches right here. And I hope the camera picked that up. You can't even see me, bro. Hold on. Gotta make sure you can see me, okay? Look at this. There you go. That's all you're gonna see, bro. So I was on anesthesia for that. I was on anesthesia for a lot of procedures. Like I had like a freaking bronchoscopy, endoscopy, colonoscopy, like every scopy you can think of, bro. Like I've had it in both ends, bro. Don't take that out of context. But anyway, so I'm currently waiting on the results for this, and I really hope that it does diagnose the specific cancer, because they said there's a small chance that it might not. And if that's the case, then they got to do another biopsy. And I don't want to go through another biopsy unless I'm put asleep. Because guess what? This biopsy, bro, I can't feel nothing. Like the back of my head, they cut an artery and it exploded, and I had to get a blood transfusion because of that, bro. Like it was so bad. Now, I want to kind of give my thoughts on this whole thing, because my family doctor says it's like 99% likely it is lymphoma, which is a cancer. Now, the thing is, once I told my family this, and once my family figured it out, and people from my hometown figured it out, like, bro, everyone was incredibly sad for me, right? Because it's cancer, right? No one wants to hear someone that they've known for their whole life, someone that they, like, their son, like, their best friend, brother, they don't want to hear that they have cancer. That is just heartbreaking. Why? Because cancer, like, you have to go through chemo. Like, you could die from it, right? But Hodgkin's lymphoma is a very curable cancer. It has a 90% chance of being curable. So why am I not so sad compared to all of those around me? Well, it's simply because of the way I think. Now, I don't know what it is, or maybe I've just been like kind of manifesting it, or maybe the Holy Spirit put it in me, but I just don't think like everyone else. I just see this as an opportunity for me to grow. Okay, I lost all my income. Like I'm gonna be gone from this place, bro. I'm gonna be going back with my parents back at home. Okay, all my channels got demonetized. Okay, my whole YouTube business demonetized. So right now I'm kind of just in limbo. And I'm back at the place where I started back in 2025, January, where I dropped out of university thinking it was going to work. I made it work. Okay. I was making 10, 15K, almost 20K a month. Okay. In total revenue, I think my peak was like 30K in revenue. Okay. Not profit. So probably made like 15K. But regardless, and this is US dollars, by the way. So I thought, okay, I can move out of my parents' house, live on my own. You know, I want to put myself in such a ridiculously hard situation to the point where I have to make it work and keep going. Little did I know that things that would be outside of my control would be the reason for my downfall. And I'm not saying this because, like, my life is so sad because I didn't have time to work. Like, bro, I literally got 3 channels demonetized. I tried my best to get them back, okay? In terms of, like, my overall income, it just dropped because, I mean, we're in is it Q2 now? Yeah, but my channels got demonetized in Q1, so there you go. And my health just is bad. But here's the thing too, okay? I've been going to the gym 5 to 6 days a week. I've been eating a really clean diet. Not recently, if I'm being honest. I'm not going to say that I haven't been recently just because I haven't really been at my house. And like, I just consider myself to try and be a healthy person. who strives to make himself better. And in the end, if I have cancer, I'm going to still make it work. It does not matter what circumstances you are in, bro. Yes, there are things that might be outside of your control, but you can still make it work in other ways. And I'm not trying to say this to like motivate you or anything like that. I'm going to prove to you that while I'm on treatment, that while I'm doing all these things, I am going to make it work. And I want to prove this to you because I truly believe that I can do anything as long as I put my mind into it and I put my faith into it, because there's no one else in the world that is better than Jesus Christ, bro. So, like I said, everyone back at home, everyone like in my group is very worried for me, and I totally understand that. And like, you know, people are trying to like reach out to me and support me. And one thing that I just have not been able to like grasp for a good chunk of my life is support from other people. And I'm not saying this because like I don't want people to support me. It's it's simply just because I just don't like I feel like when people try and support me, it makes me feel like I'm not doing enough work. So, you know, I've had people like try to give me like $300, $1,000 offers just because I'm going through this thing, man. And like, that's just too much, right? I'm not saying this to like, because I know people do this so they can like actually get money out of it, but like I don't know, it's just how I've been raised, man. Like when people like try and like pay for me at restaurants, bro, like it just, I don't know, I just feel like I gotta put like my little bit into it. What am I gonna do from here? Well, I have two things. Thing one, I could stay in Vancouver and stay with the group that I'm with, that I know in Vancouver, and potentially they can help me. Here's the thing though, I don't really know them that well, so that's, you know. Or two, I can go back to the city that's closest to where my parents are and get way cheaper housing and overall just, you know, potentially be in a better spot. That for me, you know, I'm close to family. I'm in a better situation that I can control that isn't like way above my means. And just kind of use it as a place to heal and a place for me to kind of like just be in that spot. So yeah, like pretty much like a full recap on this video. No matter what goes on in your life, whether you have cancer, whether you have like, you know, maybe a family member passed away, you just got to accept the fact there's nothing that you can do at all. There's nothing that you can do. You can't bring them back. You will have cancer until the battle is over. You could remain on top. You could lose it. But you have to understand that whatever you're going through, your days are counted. So please, do yourself a favor. Get on it, bro. Because this is not just a time for you to heal. It's also a time for you to do better. Let's go.